that's how we start a conversation, so people think that we're having a conversation.
100%.
What's up, everybody? That wasn't a real conversation, but you can't just start by staying on the camera. That felt good.
Felt good.
Guys, welcome to another episode of The Unusual Suspects. What episode are we on? Do we even know?
7.
7?
Yep.
Lucky
number
number
7.
7. That's what I'm talking about, guys. We have some unusuals in the house. We have Brandon Aceto. We have taylerdegrande in the house. Christie is in the house. Brady, listen, we're not only unusual suspects, we wear unusual outfits. Brady, I don't know, like, guys, if you felt this, it feels, you know what you did? Where'd you get, tell us the truth, where'd you get it from?
Got it at Target for $60. I was shopping for my daughter.
He got it at Target. And I don't know, like, did you walk in and go, excuse me, do you guys have this in size Nana? Because that feels, dude, it feels like a wool blanket, like your grandmother would sit there and like knit.
How long is this gonna be? Because I'm dying.
No. Bro, by the way, in Florida, I'm shocked they even let you buy that.
As soon as I go outside, it just lights on fire.
It's so aggressive, but
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, but you look good.
Thank
I
you.
want to thank everybody for joining us. You know, last week I wasn't here. I was in Tampa performing. But
Did you just say where were you?
I forgot
like, wait, what?
where was I? Yeah. But from what I heard, 'cause I don't read comments, people were like, people, you know, they miss you.
Aww.
And I appreciate it. We have a lot to talk about today, and I think why waste time? Let's just get into it. All right, I'm first, guys. That was funny. Guy caught that one. All right, so guys, right off the rip, I want to talk about the entire George Floyd, Derek Chauvin situation. Recently, some new documents came out revealing that George Floyd, mind you guys, facts. These are facts. Put your feelings and your emotions aside. I know this is going to piss off a bunch of people, but George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose and not from asphyxiation or strangulation. I want everybody just let that hit you. The video that we saw, obviously horrible, handcuffed, way too long. I agree, way too long to do that. Probably should have got like manslaughter, third degree. I think that was one of the first charges, but they changed it. But these new court documents are coming to light, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Amy Sweezy, have you heard about this girl?
Related to Patrick?
Not Patrick Sweezy, but she's a former Hennepin County, Minnesota prosecutor who's suing her employer. All right, which she alleging that she was a victim of sexual discrimination and retaliation. So, like, think about this. None of these facts would have come out, guys. This would have still been, you know, nothing changed. BLM, horrible time for her lives. She's pissed off, so she's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna expose everybody right now. And what a thing to expose, because this lawsuit matters because George Floyd died in Hennepin County, where she's suing and blowing the lid off everything. The depositions in her case make it very clear that the prosecutors always knew that Derek Chauvin and the other 3 police did not kill George Floyd. So during her deposition, if I say definition one more time,
You're putting 2 words together.
You're sitting over here with that outfit.
Definition. Definition too.
I love
but
it.
It sounds right.
During her deposition, she discussed a conversation she had the day after Floyd's death when she asked Hennepin County medical examiner Dr. Andrew Baker about the autopsy. She said, and I quote, "I called Dr. Baker early that morning to tell him about the case and to ask him if he would perform the autopsy on Mr. Floyd. He called me later that day, and on Tuesday, he told me that there were no medical findings that showed any injury to the vital structures of Mr. Floyd's neck." You guys have to really think about that. Any structures, meaning, bro, like your larynx, pressure, if it's snapped, did he break anything in there? Did it slow down? Did it asphyxiate?
There's nothing.
Yeah. There were no medical indications of asphyxia or strangulation, according to the transcript. I do that. I said transcript. He said, this is what the guy said to her. Amy, what happens when the actual evidence doesn't match up with the public narrative that everyone's already decided on? And then he said, this is the kind of case that ends careers. The other depositions from attorneys in the office showed that the decision to prosecute Chauvin was purely political. The prosecutors feared the mob, happens a lot, and they were happy to go after the police. But and again, I think I mentioned it, facts don't care about your feelings. This is what happened. Do you guys think anything changes? Do we go backwards? I know somebody earlier today was like, Vinny, you can't unburn a city. You can't unburn the churches. You can't start this.
No, I mean, you showed it with the whole when Minnesota. Remember, you did that. I don't know when it was. You showed downtown like Baghdad or something. Then you showed Minnesota,
And I was like, where is it at?
And I go, oh, that's gotta be like some third world country. It was Minnesota.
It was Minnesota.
And people forget about that destruction. People forget about all that.
Yeah, they really do. And go ahead, Christie, what were you
I
gonna
was just gonna say, can you imagine if they even attempted to go back and tell the truth and like get him out of prison earlier than what his sentence was? Can you imagine the chaos that would?
Oh my God! Like Brandon, would be honest. I want to know what you think too. That's a great scenario, Christie.
Yeah.
In 1 month, they go, all right, guys. We due to all these depositions, said it right. All the depositions, all this factual stuff from doctors. I'm sorry to say this, but the amount of fentanyl that this guy had in his body and the norfentanyl, and I'm gonna have Kelly show the photo of the coroner's report. Brandon, what happens?
Yeah, no, the people who are the agents of chaos that really push this narrative would love that, because that would give them round two of, pushing some agent of chaos type of situation where people are burning cities and rioting. Because, two things to be right at the same time. The guy Derek Chauvin was a terrible guy, and he obviously didn't do things the right way as a cop, because he's like leaning on the guy for like a long time, abusing him and stuff. Like, that's not cool. But
not cool at all.
Left, the agents of chaos, the Soros type of people who push all this type of stuff, they knew exactly what they were doing too, because it's not like this just came out, this autopsy where we saw that wasn't asphyxiation. That this is probably something that was known within a few weeks or a few days of this happening, but they still pump the news cycle full of all showing it over and over again, him getting suffocated, saying he can't breathe, and people riling people up to burn stuff down.
Brennan, and then I'm going to go to you, Taylor. Do you think the agents of chaos, the political higher-ups, the elites, because don't ever get it twisted, they love the divisiveness, they love racism, they push all this thing. I just had a conversation with Umberto at lunch where he's like, Vinny, if you walk around, people love each other. Yeah. He's like, there's no openly people being racist.
That's true. That's very true.
Dude, it made me sit back, Christine. I was like, I go, you mean hate doesn't exist? He goes, no, Vinny. Hate, yeah, it's in pockets, but nobody's out in the street. Yeah, you'll see a video here and there of some stupid, uneducated, hate-filled moron going, saying the N-word or talking about Asians or whatever. But the majority, is love. Dude, but they love, Brandon, to go and harp on it. Say what you're gonna say, because I have a point.
It kind of reminds me of like the weather video that you did, where how they exaggerate the hell out of the weather situations. They'll fake that they're going their knees in the water and shows up. So I think it's the same thing with the hatred stuff, because I went to places like Chicago, New York, all these cities last year, and there wasn't any crazy violence or anything like that. But if you look at Fox News, it looks like there's a war going on in Chicago.
Yeah,
I was just there.
It's pretty violent, though.
I was just there.
It's pretty. When I lived there, I lived in Elgin, and every weekend I would look up the shootings, and there'd be 10, 50, 30, some of them really young children just being assassinated by drive-bys. Wow. Chicago is pretty dangerous when it comes to gun violence. And to your point on that end, I would say, I don't even know if people would care. They've made up their mind on the decision. You could come out with the facts, and they would be like, yeah, no, he still shouldn't have done that, though. And so it's the facts don't even matter, because there were people, and to Candace Owens' credit, screaming from the rooftops at the beginning of this situation, hey, there was fentanyl in his system. Can we kind of look at it from multiple different perspectives?
No.
And people weren't willing to do it because their mind was made up. White cop, black man, died, done,
in
does
Chicago,
not matter.
What they were doing in Chicago, they were. I mean, I was just there, and there was a car. We were all walking around on Wells Street. One car drove into the Dior store. This is when I was there.
Yeah.
Drove into the Dior store, smashed it. I missed it by 10 minutes.
Jeez.
Smashed into it. They stole that car, smashed into it, went in, ran, and grabbed a bunch of stuff, left the car, and then hopped into other cars, and then they sped off.
Wow.
Dude, you didn't see a cop car come by there to check it out?
They don't go over
within
there anymore.
15, 20 minutes. Back in the day when I lived in Chicago, it was slammed with cops, dude.
Yeah.
Cops were just pulling people over because it was fun and they were drunk at the bar. They didn't care. They didn't care.
Because politicians don't have their back now, and so they've given up. If the politicians don't have your back as a cop, you're not going to go for it.
And you know what I learned? It's called the Windy City, not because it's windy, because of the politics.
Is it? That's wow. taylerdegrande dropping the fact.
I was going to say, to your point, and this is the problem with the news outlets, is that they like this divisiveness, and it takes away from having conversations of it's possible that two things can be right at the same time. Derek Chauvin was his name.
Yep.
His actions with like his knee to the neck was entirely, I think we can all agree, was like too much.
Abuse, yeah.
But at the same time, let's be realistic on George Floyd and what was going on with him and his his toxic report. How much fentanyl did he have in his system?
It could like kill a horse.
It was so much.
I'm happy you did
and
that.
so he overdosed with that. So my whole thing is like they just love for us to just pick a radical side and to stay on that side. And I remember being in New York and getting into fights with friends because when it had just happened, emotions were heightened and everybody was so mad at the cop. And I asked the question of like, well, what happened? What are the details? And you would be, I got annihilated for just asking, what's the context and why?
You can't even ask the question.
Yeah, they were just like, you need to decide, that was wrong, right? That was racist, right? And I'm like, well, that looks wrong, but I feel like there's so much more to it. Let's wait. And no one wanted to do that.
What do you mean? There were people were walking up, running up on people. I saw this in LA. We were there.
Yep.
Like people were just eating at a restaurant. They were running up, mobs going, "You better say Black Lives Matter." Say it. And I was like, "Yo, back." Because mind you, and somebody said this. My brother said this. Somebody said this on a comment about, because I touched on this on Pat's thing. They're like, hey, if y'all white people, I'm not white, I'm Middle Eastern, shouldn't talk about black people problems. I'm like, no. I can talk about whatever I want to talk about because I have an opinion about stuff. Okay, I have an opinion. And you made a great point, and I want to harp on it. People all of a sudden, George Floyd was this angel, saint person. Let's not forget, first of all, if you were a good person, you know what the cops don't do? They don't even go near you. They don't mess with you. This guy was trying to use a $20 fake $20 bill to get cigarettes that day. They showed up. He was resisting. Nobody saw that video till years later. Years later. He's resisting. He takes white substance. He swallows it. Turns out it's fentanyl. Kelly, can you show this? Can you show this really fast? This graphic. So guys, that is him. Look at right there. That is 11 ngml. Wow. You guys understand? One of that is a high dose. 11 will kill all of us in this room. Jesus. He had that. He had norfentanyl in him. He had methamphetamine. He had a heart disease. Are you ready for this, Brady? He had COVID. And weeks before, he had 2 overdoses. So this guy, mind you, he's resisting arrest over and over and over and over and over again. And again, I want people to understand this. I'm not taking away from like the knee on the head that long. Right. I'm anti that. I was an MP. I get it.
But didn't you tell me? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No.
Didn't you? I think you told me they were really on his neck.
They were on. That's perfectly. You're right because Brady.
But you told me that.
I know because and now because of the report, it wasn't asphyxiation, bro. These people know the human body inside and out. Yeah. He didn't die from it.
Right.
But like you said, if we go backwards, it's a wrap. But think about it. Think about this. They wait for these type of moments. They jump on it. That's all they're waiting for. White cop, this moment, the sources, it's like a switch goes off. Because of that, think about this. We had the riots. They burned down the country. BLM was started. All the hate, all the fighting, the resentment towards cops. And mind you, I know people that are in the hood that are like, bro, there's no cops aren't showing up anymore. Like, that's not a good thing.
Right. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Like I said in Chicago.
And none of that's on, none of it is on purpose. Guess what was gearing up around the same time of all this too? All the riots.
The election.
The election.
That made Trump, forced Trump to have to take a position on it too. Because I like that House of Cards thing you said, because the politicians know that the president has to take a stance on that, either say the cop was wrong or that George Floyd was wrong, and they knew Trump wouldn't say the cop was wrong.
100%.
And even to say when it's around the elections, look at the chaos we're in under Trump's leadership. And I think even from a deeper issue is how we make judicial decisions based off emotions. Like the fact that we can't trust our judges or like the actual system to play out to see the facts is terrifying.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a really bad thing that it's like, okay, let's stir up the emotions of the public to then innocent. It's not innocent until proven guilty. It's guilty until proven innocent. And even when you're proven innocent, his character assassination is so far gone. Like, good luck to living him or anyone close to him a decent life moving forward. And also, what does that do to like the future of anything? It's like, okay, emotions first, then we'll dictate how we want to prosecute you. I mean,
I have a question for all of you guys. Okay, I have a question for all of you guys. Do you think people will fall for this garbage
100%.
again?
Yeah.
Chrissy?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think they'll fall for it
They have
again?
a playbook now.
Well,
I think that this set a tone, and this is just my opinion. This set a tone. Since then, I think that everybody has had to feel forced to state an opinion about anything that's going on because silence is violence, right? So I remember seeing that
Silence is
everywhere
violence.
on social media.
You didn't put a black square.
Yeah,
like,
you
you
didn't
didn't
put a
put
black
I
square.
was just
I
about
got
to
attacked
call.
so much because they were like, "Oh, you have a following, you have an audience, and why aren't you putting this?" Because I don't know the context. So now they're like forcing people and feeling the pressure to say something about something they may not even know much about. It's happening right
But it
now with the
emotionally
whole
does something to
Israel
them.
and Palestine situation. Make a decision, pick a side, and it's like we're not having dialogue anymore. We're not having conversations. They just want you to pick a side and stay divided. And I think that BLM and the George Floyd situation set that precedent moving forward because we see it all the time with Ukraine. Now with the war, everybody
yeah.
putting the flags and like the
Palestine,
solidarity
Israel. Yep.
without even knowing the context. That set the tone moving forward.
I feel great point, and I feel. What's the word that I'm looking for, guys? I'm not. I don't feel like I'm not blessed, but I'm so lucky that I'm awake, not woke, but that I get it. Like when COVID was going on, I was like, oh my God, like I see
really
it
went-
happening.
Oh, you
I
went
knew
for it?
No, I'm saying
mean you
like the facts. I'm a pure blood. I knew Fauci was full of crap. I knew what they were doing
Same
with
here.
Trump.
Yeah.
I knew what, dude. It's like I almost have a sixth sense as it's happening. I think you made a great point. Instead of jumping in, like I picture like the double dutch. As they're starting, you don't just jump in like an idiot. You got to get the rhythm, and then you got to jump in.
Right.
So with anything, with politics, with decisions, with Ukraine, with all this, before you get in there, really get all the facts
It's
and get
emotions.
everything.
It's all about emotions, dude. It's all about
Well,
getting
but
people
they're
riled
brilliant
up
at it.
before
They are.
before these elections. They're getting everyone riled up, and they're bringing the house this time. I think they're bringing the house.
They are.
And they said, you saw with Tucker Carlson that he said that, I forget the guest, but he said. We've already got the insides, the guts of America, and they're gonna, as it gets close, you watch, they're gonna start ripping
It's
it apart.
happening already.
Well,
What do you
that's
mean?
telling you,
Look
bro.
at the situation we're going to be in when the election rolls around. Most likely, we're going to be in a stock market crash or at least recession where people have far less money than they do right now this year, at least 50% less, and probably in a much worse situation with the war that's going on because there's no de-escalation in sight.
By the way, we're sending, guys. What they say, we said that USS Gerald Ford, one aircraft
yeah.
carrier.
Yeah.
We just found out. No. They sent. We are setting up almost as if I told Brandon. I had a weird feeling last night, guys. I was at my house. I was making food, and I got this weird sense of like. I looked outside. I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised. I got goosebumps if something bad happens. I got a bad intuition. Some terrorist thing happens here, and guess what?
Yeah.
We already have our ships, and we're like, we're already here protecting them. Let's just go for it because I'm telling you guys right now, the writing's on the wall. Don't get emotional. Take a step back. Iran. You keep hearing Iran, Hezbollah, Iran. We're looking for a fight
But
with somebody
America
big.
wants a fight with Iran, and America's going to show up, and they're doing this right to their face.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hit my
Yeah, they're like, no, I don't want to. Oh, yeah, exactly.
That's what they're doing.
Well,
And
just, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, yeah, just to show how serious that is. What you're saying, the 7 aircraft carriers. You know, we have 20 of them, but like out of the entire country, there's only like 1 per country for the biggest countries. So,
No, you're good. No, keep going.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, like,
so
like the
how
second
many?
most in the world is like France has like 2 of them. We have 20, and we sent 7 of them to this area. So you know, you don't just send 7 out of your 20 destroyers or aircraft carriers there for no reason.
Yeah, and not because I wanted to go to Taylor with the next story. Is it crazy though, guys? Because we mentioned what's happening in Israel and which is, dude, we're gearing up. I hope everybody's getting ready for it. But notice how still to this day, not one person has come in front of a camera and said, "Hey guys, this is how." Tractors came in, airborne people came in, people driving in. The biggest attack they've had in the history of their country. And for 6 hours, nothing happened.
Nothing.
Not one person has spoken about it, not Netanyahu, not anybody. All I've gotten is messages from people from Israel. I'm getting Instagram messages from people going, listen, I'm dead serious. I'll show you at the end of this. Vinny, something is fishy, something is not up. How will we call with our pants down? Other people are talking. I've seen soldiers, female soldiers going, there's no way they didn't know. There's no way. Anyway, that's a whole nother.
Well, we'll get those answers, but just like years from now, because they're already learning to bring the truth out years later.
Oh yeah, because the news you nailed it. Because the news cycle is so fast.
Yeah.
They're like,
So just wait 5 years and you'll get.
Yeah, and but just like this one, like the George Floyd one, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And they know if that guy gets out of jail, we're going right back into burning the country down.
Right.
You notice that, right?
Because who wants the truth? As long
Nobody
as
wants. Yeah, the truth. I don't want feelings.
Right.
Truth hurts my feelings.
Yeah, you're happy and that's what
Anyway,
matters.
all right, guys, we're gonna move on to the next topic. Taylor, you showed me this article before we got in here. Meta just is getting sued by 42 lawyers because they're upset or they're just worried that they're targeting kids with like their addictive content and stuff like that. I'll let you read the story because I have a couple questions.
Yeah, of course. So big tech and them looking at the way they navigate their platforms is nothing new. And so Meta is now facing multiple lawsuits on this issue when it comes to their algorithms and children, making it very addictive. So Attorney General from 33 states filed a federal suit against Meta in Northern District of California, while 9 additional attorneys generals are filing in other states, according to the press. And what it is, it's not the first time that this has happened, but essentially what they're fighting for is that it includes that the AG and it impacts teens' mental health through social comparison or promoting body dysmorphia, liking photos, filters. And the federal suit also accuses Meta of violating the children's online privacy protection, saying that they're collecting their data for children that are under the age of 13 without parental consent.
Damn. Wow.
And so I'm curious on 2 things. It's not just, and they say this is not just about Meta, but as one of the biggest players, as an entity where there's clear evidence of misleading the public and making deliberate decisions that hurt kids, I think it's appropriate that we lead off with this particular lawsuit. So my question to you is on 2 things. One, when they're talking about promoting body dysmorphia and that they're violating the Online Privacy Protection Act of Children, so I have 2 points and I'm curious the opinions of both. One, I find it interesting that they're suing big tech for this, but that governments are wanting school systems to now allow them to call their children whatever they want, whatever gender they want, without parental consent.
Good point.
So you have that online, bad, but you can change your gender without parental consent. Good.
Weird.
And then 2, what is the government role when it comes to big tech? And I would really be curious on what you think on that, because where's the line? Do we allow them to fully regulate what they can and cannot do, and where do you establish how far they can go?
Go ahead, Brandon.
Yeah, so I'm actually a big fan of the repealing Section 230. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
What is that? School me, because I don't know.
So it's a clause that was put in when the internet first came about in the 90s that basically protects the internet publishers or social media companies as they cannot be sued by their users, so they aren't liable for what they say or what they have on the platform. So if they were held accountable for those things, I mean, it would probably jam them up a lot more and also have a negative unintended consequence, but it would at least hold them accountable for the things you see terrorism stuff showing up on Twitter, stuff like that, which is crazy.
Porn, there's everything on there. There's everything on there.
So I mean, it's unfortunate that they basically have a license to have whatever they want on there, but also they can at the same time censor stuff that they don't want on there, which is often inconsistent with common sense.
Got you. But Taylor, because I know the majority of you guys are going to know this, that they had this problem. Zuckerberg was in front of Congress years ago when he was doing that weird robot water.
Alien.
I still can't sleep sometimes at night because I think of that moment. But no, they were on there because all the Congress was like, listen, you have a monopoly. Mind you, it was both sides. It was Democrat and Republican, and they were like, wait a minute, you just have a monopoly. You're doing all this secret stuff. You're collecting the data. By the way, no answers because he has 90 lawyers behind him. But Taylor, my question too back to you guys is if your kid's 13 years old and you're letting them get on this, you're kind of opening up that window for them to get it. But because by the way, Pat's kids, they're not on their phones. Every other parent though, when they're just lazy, they just throw their phone to their kid. Their kids on there doing the thing. It's an iPad. The iPad's the babysitter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's good that they're suing, but at the same token, I think the government has to have some oversight because like you said, body dysphoria. They're watching all these Instagram, all these models, and these young kids. Besides the transitioning, because mind you, it's not just on Facebook. On TikTok. TikTok is a China-owned company. You know how much transgender stuff is on there to brainwash kids? Dude, I've said this over and over. We are at a war with China, but it's not a bombing, shooting guns, ground war, air, water. These sons of bitches, okay, are COVID. Boom, got you sons of bitches. Ready for this? Oh, TikTok, brainwashing your kids. We're buying bases, we're buying land next to your military bases. We're flying spy balloons, and your president ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
They are, you nailed it. Remember what you said from within?
Yeah.
I'm more worried about China than anybody else. And when I keep seeing videos of these dope-ass reporters on their phones, they're not even reporters. Christie, I'm gonna come to you. They're recording a row of Chinese people at our border, and they're like, "Where are you from? China? Yeah. You speak English?
Same guy.
China. It was you.
Yeah.
China. Where are you from? China. Do you speak English? China." They're the ones that we have to be really, really concerned about. And I don't think we're taking them serious. Kelly, I'm sorry, Christy.
You know, there's like a spiritual warfare when they start weaponizing kids in every single country. They're doing it everywhere for the sake of war, for the sake of mental health when they're young, in the school system.
Control the youth.
They're completely weaponizing kids. So there's a spiritual war right then and there. Back to your point, I worry about that not being oversighted or taken care of in some sort of way, because what they're doing now that's really harming particularly the girls, young girls, are that the models that they're using are no longer real. They're all artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen those videos of those models that ideally look unrealistically perfect. Not only are they photos, they are now videos. And girls are watching this thinking that's the standard.
Guys are watching it too.
And it's literally giving them this false sense of reality, and it's gonna crush them. It's gonna crush them because we're grown already. And if we see things and we're like, wow, if that affects us, but not to that point, imagine children who haven't even developed a sense of like reality, you know?
I agree on that. And I think it's twofold too, because then we have influencers who are primarily on social media, but none of them are real either. It's Photoshop. It's like, so where can you really draw the line? Because there's apps you can use. You think about the Kardashians, like all of how you think of all the magazines. They've been doing this for a long time, Photoshop. So they're not even really them, what we see. But like, I kind of agree with you, Vinny, because I don't know, I'm kind of torn because yes, I feel there should be oversight. The monopoly, they're doing all these things, but we're looking to the government to do the oversight when the government is simultaneously destructing children. And then it's like for the parents at some point in time, I feel like we have to come back to the individual. We have to come back to the parents,
the family,
and make sure your kids aren't on social media. Like they're not having a phone. They're not. Why are they 13 years old on social media? Like
it's also the destruction of the middle class too. And also you were saying with China, have you seen those videos of those little kids that the little kids that they're all at their desk. You know what their schedule's like? They assemble guns in the morning. No, I saw that. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. They're not doing that here. Here we're talking about pronouns and we're talking about what do you want to be called? Are you a tiger today? Are you a hippopotamus today? Right? Meanwhile, China's over there like clear. And then they're also doing like so much like calculations, and they're working with AI, with math and all that stuff. Over here, we're not touching any of it. It's zero.
It's a great point.
Terrifying.
We should learn from this is a sign when you're the country and you have an app like TikTok and you're selling it to the world, but you will let your people on it. Right. You know what that says?
Yeah.
We don't trust this. This is poison.
Yep. Yeah.
We don't want our people having this poison, but guess what? You guys have at it. Like, you don't know that word algorithm. People don't realize, bro, that thing is cut into your life. That metadata where they could foresee where you're going to go, what you're going to buy. That's why I tell people this all the time. Yeah, I'll go to you after this. When people think about our security, we wanted security when you found out people were surveilling us. Like during Obama, when people were like, wait a minute, they're listening. This thing is listening to everything that I say. Look at what Zuckerberg, alien, he made it cool. Facebook and now all the social media, it made it cool for you to give your information. For instance, now they don't gotta search, Taylor, for what you want, what you're buying, who you're hanging out with, what vacation you like, what clothes you buy, if you're a Christian or not. They just go on your Facebook and the metadata is in there, and that's what they got in trouble for because they were selling that shit.
Yeah, and I would agree on that point. I actually do feel that that's the best route to protect people from is from like the data. How? I don't know enough about it to share that, but like if you think about the Fourth Amendment, like it's violation of search and seizure. You're not supposed to be able to just have access to everyone's data, but that was, I mean, that was done away with 9/11 and the Patriot Act where they were able to do that. And so I think the personal information is the route to go, not so much. I would say that makes sense to me because when we're going through all this, there should be protection. If we're putting all of our data in there, they are more powerful than the government and all of that. But do I agree or trust the government to oversee? No, I don't.
I don't know.
I-
You know what's even
like,
scarier is
no-
they were talking about TikTok. And sorry, just real quick. They were talking about TikTok. Go ahead.
No, go.
I didn't want to say anything.
No, because
I was
funny.
going to say with the
No, go
TikTok, just with your thing, it's predictive programming. They already know what you're going to do before you even get on your phone.
Of
And that's
course.
what all I want to say.
They're the
Because
timing of
that's
it,
what's
too.
scary about little kids and everything is they already know what they're going to think before they think it, and that's terrifying.
Brady, I'm
But
an adult.
China,
Well,
they
yeah,
can
it's
look
mind reading already.
at what is, China looks at. Don't they have their TikTok? It's like engineers. It's all of
Yeah,
these
but
things
Brady,
that are
but
very
think about it. It's
educational.
professional.
And then
It's serious.
U.S. trend.
What do you mean? By the way, and I'll admit, Brandon, I'm gonna go to you. I'll admit it. It's almost like a dopamine release when I'm like in the morning. I'm like, let me see how many people. I'll admit it, but I'm an adult. I can.
And it still happens to you.
And it's
So
still
imagine.
happening. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, mine's
And it's still
disgusting. If you go to my
messy.
Instagram search, it's just big ass booties. I'll admit it.
Well, that's
I know who I am as a person.
That's what the lawsuit was also alleging, that it was dopamine manipulated regulation in the algorithm. That was one of the
Wow, that's
Where are you
sick.
So
drawing
that
the
was
line
one
on
of the
that, though?
things.
Because
Yeah.
like, how's it different from like the junk food that we eat, or like video games and stuff like that, or even movies or TV shows? So
Yeah.
it's like it's a weird thing to try to like regulate addictive tendencies because like what that we use isn't addictive when you really look at it.
But you can manipulate what you're into. Like if you see something long enough, then that's going to be kind of like hypnotized to think
That's what I
the
mean, like
interest of
commercials and
yours.
stuff. Like that's
Yeah.
making you addicted to
That's
certain things. Or
marketing.
things
If you
Yeah.
tie it back to George Floyd and the news, they make us addicted to it. The
Yeah.
news puts on 24 hours. This is
course.
happening. This is
Yeah.
happening. This is happening. Why? Because we're consumed by it. So the news outlets can do it. The government can do it. And then big tech. I just feel that I'm glad that it's talked about. I think it's something that should definitely be a topic of discussion. I just don't know how you confront it. And I just find it very strange that, you know, this is an issue when it comes to children, but when you want to protect them, the parents should have an idea when it comes to the data. But when it comes to their gender and it comes to their names, doesn't
No,
matter.
you don't know
Let the
enough,
government
right.
have control of that. So
I think it might just be important for the family. I think it comes back to that. You probably have friends as well. We all might have friends where these families that keep the phone away from the kids up to a certain age, and then those who just give it to them right away when they're 6, 7 years old.
Yeah.
There is a clear difference on the upbringing of those children. I feel like the ones who don't have their phones are more imaginative. They're more playful with each
Yep.
other. They're more social, whereas the ones on the phones, those are the ones that start developing like social issues, and then they don't really know how to interact with people.
Yeah.
So it starts at the home. Like I definitely think that we shouldn't be giving that responsibility to the government. I think it should always end up.
I
being the
and I
parents.
hate to use this word, Christie, because I'm not. I hate it. But those kids that are just this,
Yeah.
they're plugged into the matrix. They're just this, and you nailed it. The kids that are outside playing
Yeah.
and talking to people, hi, holding hands, digging,
They're
digging
playing,
holes,
they're
and
creating,
playing.
they're imaginative, yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, and it's too.
Like,
we're-
don't you remember being a kid and like your mom would just leave you there while she was getting her nails done or something, and you were just like, well, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just like talk to myself and like play on this couch and like see if I can make
I
an
make
imaginary
forts.
ship.
You know how many
Yeah.
forts I made? Kids don't know what a
Totally.
fort is. They're like, did you say fart?
They're like,
no, I said
Fortnite?
fort.
And you're like, no, a fort
a
outside.
Fort.
Or even growing up, it was my friend's birthday yesterday, and I showed a picture when we were really young, and I had stupid buns in my hair. Like I was dressed like an
looked
idiot. I was
crazy.
like, children would never know. They
Yeah,
don't know
they
the
won't.
braces, the ugly makeup, the ugly outfits. Like
You were
they don't know
allowed to be
childhood.
ugly.
We
You were
played
allowed
with the
to
whole
grow.
like I knew we would walk up and down the street.
Yeah.
I get lost. We had fun. Now it's just you just take the phone and get the hell out of my face.
Yeah.
But okay, we're gonna move on. Christie, we saw in the news Jon Stewart was let go. Fired? Was he fired?
He was fired.
Fired or contractually?
I think they just didn't agree.
Because he was on the
That's
Apple.
what they're saying,
It was for
but-
2 years. He was with Apple. He had a podcast.
Yeah, so it was reported that Jon Stewart was fired from his show with Apple called The Problem with Jon Stewart. Apparently, there's a lot.
Weird. There's a lot going on.
It was on the brink of filming its 3rd season. So the reason was apparent creative differences, but realistically, he wanted to maintain full creative control, including bringing new topics for the 3rd season. two of those main topics, which Apple was not on board with, was China and artificial intelligence. China, we all know, happens to do most, if not almost all of the manufacturing with Apple. And then artificial intelligence, which they are probably heavily involved in investing in and curating and designing. So those were two things that they were not on board for him bringing to season 3. So this caused Stewart to walk away after 2 seasons, which actually helped Apple. That show garnered 5 Emmys just in 2 seasons, which is sort of a big deal, especially Apple bringing in a seasoned veteran host to their platform. It's helped them, especially with their multi-billion-dollar decline that they've been having.
Yeah.
You guys actually talked about it briefly.
5 Emmys for his show?
5 Emmys, yeah.
Damn.
So that helps a lot.
That's freaking fantastic.
So Apple claimed that both the company and Stewart had to remain aligned on what topics he was going to talk about. So when he brought those two, they were like, no, that doesn't work for us. So they're very adamant about how he feels with the COVID-19 vaccine and the whole virus in general. So Kelly, if we can pull up that video. He expressed his concerns and his thoughts on his friend Stephen Colbert's show.
When was this?
A couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
So this actually blew up.
Okay, let's watch this
So
one.
we'll watch that really quick.
Okay.
And I honestly mean this. I think we owe a great debt of gratitude to science. Science has, in many ways, helped ease the suffering of this pandemic, which was more than likely caused by science.
Look, shaking in his boots.
So then he explains a little bit more in this next clip, his thoughts on.
Okay.
The name of your lab. If you look at the name, look at the name. Let me see your business card. Show me your business card. Oh, I work at the coronavirus lab in Wuhan. Oh, because there's a coronavirus loose in Wuhan. How did that happen? Maybe a bat flew into the cloaca of a turkey and then it sneezed into my chili and now we all have coronavirus. Like, come on. Okay. What about this?
Look how uncomfortable that scumbag is.
So he was very vocal about how he felt about that. So then he then addressed this moment on his Apple podcast. Kelly, if we can pull that up, he kind of talked.
Oh, he talked about it.
This is much later. This is during his show that just got canceled. So he's able to express that.
The Department of Energy came out with a report saying that they said low confidence, but that the COVID-19 was a result of a lab leak.
Are you trying to get me canceled again?
I know. I've gotten so many texts being like, "Is Jon gloating?"
Do you feel vindicated?
No, there is no. First of all, I wasn't waiting for the Department of Energy to weigh in on it. That's one of those.
You were refreshing the Department of Energy feed.
What is the Department of Energy?
With low confidence.
It's not about certainty or the larger problem with all of this is the inability to discuss things that are within the realm of possibility without falling into absolutes and litmus testing each other for our political allegiances as it arose from that. My bigger problem with that was I thought it was a pretty good bit that expressed kind of how I felt. And the two things that came out of it were I'm racist against Asian people and how dare I align myself with the alt-right. And I thought, well, that's...
So, and then there's one more video of that same excerpt. It's a little shorter, and then we'll talk about it.
Like, I have my opinion. I'm not mad at the backlash either because they're doing what I was doing, which is expressing myself. The part that I don't like about it is the absolutes and the dismissive, like, fuck you, I'm done with you. I will never forgive you. You have crossed an unforgivable line. You've expressed an opinion that is antithetical to mine or not mine, and it may not be one that has any real ramifications of anything. I was just saying, this seems like it's a pretty good possibility, which, by the way, has happened.
So this is what we were talking about with like George Floyd and BLM and having to make a decision without asking questions.
Yeah.
And so here are my thoughts. Like Jon Stewart, I don't agree on many of his opinions, but we all have to admit that he's probably one of the last comedians on television or doing a show where he's incredibly intelligent, super witty, very funny, super smart. And even if you don't agree with him, he makes a difference. And his show was doing great, by the way. Like Apple
It was great,
blew
of
up
course.
because of him. So the problem with getting involved with huge corporations like Apple is that there is a massive conflict of interest with those kinds of things. It's like Apple's immensely involved with China. I think it was, what is it called? Taiwan Foxconn, which is one of Apple's largest supplier. It's known for its terrible work conditions and pay for employees.
Of course.
Like they actually had to throw a net around the building because people were jumping committing
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
been Taiwan's
Oh
Foxconn.
my.
It's one of their biggest suppliers. Yeah, like sweatshops. So they're heavily known. So you put someone who's like this, who even if you don't agree with him, he's still likable and people listen to him, and he's gonna bring China. He's gonna talk about that and upset the sleeping giant. Apple's like, I am so willing to fire this guy,
That's
then lose all of this. Like, what are your thoughts on this kind of?
I actually
This
think
kind
it's
of
a
choice.
good thing, and the reason I say that is because, like, shout out to Valuetainment and platforms like this.
Yes.
It allows for people to be exposed of what the big corporations are doing,
Right.
and then you have people like Patrick Bet-David and Valuetainment, Joe Rogan, who are getting mass amount of eyeballs. Why? Because people can be authentic. They can actually talk about things. They can actually freely express ideas that are away from China or these big corporations. So I actually find it to be a good thing, especially someone like him that is kind of liked by different people, different personalities, different ideas. For them to tear him down, it's like, oh, okay, what is Apple doing? I think it almost takes situations like this where people are kind of around all different spectrums to be torn down. Unfortunate, it has to happen to him because it allows for valuetainment. Like, there's a reason we say the election is going to be Patrick's Super Bowl. Why? Because he's willing to speak to people from all walks of life, different ideas, and believes people are smart enough to make decisions and think for themselves. So I actually think it's a good thing. Unfortunate for him, but shout out to VT and these other media companies and platforms that are going to grow because of the censorship that big corporations are doing.
Can I add on that?
Sure.
Okay. I thought what was crazy about all that. Did you see how weird Stephen Colbert was?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
So listen,
Right.
Stephen Colbert, I don't think people know this, has stake with Apple. He is big with Silicon Valley. So it's funny, you can see him squirming and he's sitting there. You could also see him going like this.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's
Well, he
it's
also works
funny-
for the networks and the government, and
But people that don't see that, don't have that eye, don't know that Stephen Colbert is so in with the whole machine and Apple and all those people. Apple, again, is a multi-billion-dollar company, right? So cutting Jon Stewart's not going to kill their bottom line, right?
exactly.
No, but and Mother Stephen Colbert, unfunny as hell, dancing with needles and like everybody get
Oh,
the
God.
vaccine. He can go to. I
Yeah.
can care less about that guy. I think he's unfunny as shit. I think late night TV has just gone to shit. They will
So
never
unfortunate.
even come close to touching the bottom of the pants of the old school Carsons and Lettermans and even the Lenos. Like, you guys are they're embarrassing,
Yeah.
especially Colbert. But or what's the other one from the Man Show?
Is it Jimmy Kimmel?
Jimmy Kimmel? Oh my God!
He's just as bad as Colbert.
Wait, but no, Kimmel's the worst because that idiot Man Show, disgusting, treating women like shit. But then those are the ones that are like, look at Trump's a bad person.
Yeah.
Right,
when
right.
you're a
He's a
scumbag.
misogynist.
He's a big scumbag, and he did blackface because he played Shaquille O'Neal.
Right.
But notice, if you have a D, if you have a Democrat, you can do whatever the hell
Whatever
you
you
want.
want. Yep.
You can get away with it. And my point to you, Gantella, I'll come to you. Everything that you said the word China kept coming up, and goes back to my point, Brandon. China again.
China.
You cannot piss them off. You have to stay in line. Who the F, dude? To hell with them. And guess what? I can say that, and it's not you're racist towards Chinese. No. China, the leader, the communism, the camps, the labor camps where young ass people are slaving their asses away, but nobody can say nothing. And when people like John Cena make a mistake and they say something about Taiwan, he has to do a message to China, kissing their ass, saying in Mandarin, saying, I'm sorry because you never, ever bite that hand that feeds you. But guess what? I can give two shits about China.
That's all ending though, and that's because we used to get a ton of cheap manufacturing from China because of how dirt poor they were, but now they've become a richer country. It's much more expensive to manufacture there, which is why Apple's pulling away. I mean, they're still trying to kiss ass a bit to, you know.
Of course, to save face, but at the same token, Brandon, and that's why this all comes down to what was one of the first things that Donald Trump said? What's one of the platforms he ran on besides closing the border, which now weird. Don't you wish the damn border was closed? Was holding China accountable, and I've heard two sides. Good for him, and I love it. But then look at what the flip side was. COVID came from there to shut everybody down. Listen, say what you want. The coincidence of COVID coming from Wuhan, the lab that we own with Fauci, that little rat scumbag. And what year was it?
2020.
Election, right? Election year.
Yeah.
It's like, how many coincidences have to happen for people to go, wait a minute, what the hell? It's like a pattern. If you don't get the pattern, like if you keep dating boyfriends and they keep hitting you, it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Get the hell out of there. Change where you're picking these freaking dudes up. Like, am I losing my mind?
Yeah.
No.
I think
80% people are in the simulation.
100%.
No, I think I heard didn't they say this one time, China, that they were like, well, they know they don't have the right military, so they can't infiltrate the United States through that, so we're going to do it through their pockets.
And pockets, and guess what? With the TikTok.
You know what? Yeah, with the TikTok, with the influence and everything like that. Go ahead.
And China.
China.
They're playing chess, and honestly, you got to kind of respect their way of approaching everything. And I would say, to your point, when you're talking about the gentleman, blackface, what's his name again?
Trudeau?
Trudeau. No.
Howard Stern?
Yeah.
No, because he did blackface.
Nothing
But he got away with it.
The one,
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yes.
I was being facetious because they all did blackface, but they're all Democrats, so they could all get away with it.
That's the thing is, why, when you come, I think it's being exposed of authenticity. Like, people hate or love Trump, but he's like, I love beautiful women. Like, it's just authentic. It's like, all right, he's just telling us the truth. He loves beautiful women. And so I think during all of this chaos with social media and all that, it actually allows people, if we come back, which is not the fun thing to say because it takes responsibility, is comes back to the individual. We have to be able to critically think, see authenticity, and actually observe people, observe what's going on, and think for ourselves. Like, we can't just trust Apple, we can't just trust the news media to tell us what it is. We know that there's a underlying messaging or things that they're trying to push on society. So it comes back to the individual to think about it and know authenticity. And that's why people like Trump, is because whether you like him or hate him, Trump is Trump.
Yeah.
Of course.
So Apple has transformed into like another narrative outlet, just like these news outlets. They're training people to kind of fuel the narrative rather than fuel their own right to ask questions and challenge them. And it's unfortunate that Apple's become that.
And we all have iPhones, and we all have
Apple Watches.
Well, so they get permission to be that big, though, because, look at Apple, Amazon, Google. They don't get that big without kissing ass to the government, and doing all the ESG stuff and promoting the stuff they want to promote. Like, look what happened to MySpace when MySpace didn't play ball. It was the biggest thing ever.
MySpace. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and, like, the Facebook was part of like the whole like NQTel CIA stuff. So that's why they were able to get big. And MySpace got shut down, but everybody loved MySpace before Facebook came along.
It was the best.
Top 8, huh?
Top 8 friends.
Top 8.
And that's when it started. That's when it started, because the addictive, like, all you wanted to know was like, really, dude?
And also,
I'm not number one.
When you had a song with someone, you guys broke up, you go to their page and they change their song.
Oh my God. What?
This is way cooler, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, but remember, like, dude, that, when you were like the 8th on the MySpace, when you were like, yo, like, dude, I was a grown man, and I would have these conversations. What did they tell me?
Where'd it go wrong?
Was it something that I did?
Because I have it on my floor. I have my
And then you have
What sucked being Hispanic and having all of your family? And they're friends with you. To be on the top 8, they're like, oh, really? Really? So you're going to put Vanessa instead of me? And you're like, first of all,
there's 2,000 of us.
These are my friends.
That's so funny.
So much pressure.
And there's 2,000 of us.
I'm like, you don't count, Mom.
Dude, that's
right there.
That's
Like,
funny.
freaking
You're number
funny.
one right here.
right here.
MySpace. But then just to shift a gear, it's like all this stuff that happens from all these outside entities, from the Chinas, from the political sides, the things that they're trying to do with the kids, and all the topics that we're talking about. You notice how if any of this happens on the left, They fight. When you're talking about like with Trump and what's happening with him in the court. It's like, you ever notice how only the left, and you say we're giving props where props is due, they fight. They get in the streets. They do whatever. What does the other side do? No, it just
they're the cuck party.
They're the cuck party of politics.
They're the simps
the
of-
They
Republicans.
sit in the corner and watch while the Democrats bend America over.
They really do, bro. And
my God, what an analogy.
he's being genuine. Who do we say the other day was the cuck?
McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
Oh my God.
These
Yeah.
guys. It's like with everything that's going wrong. Okay, guys, with everything from the Ukraine, from us sending money to the wars that they want to get us in, to policies that are messed up, to the things with the kids that they're doing in schools, all the left policies that are wrong. When the hell, by the way, because we have to wrap this up, I have to go to the next story. When the hell, what fire is going to have to spark under your lazy asses, just all talk, no action, to fight? Only one side is doing the fighting, and they're winning. They're winning. This doesn't do shit. Listen, you can do this all day. When this side's doing this, they win. And I'm not saying go and beat the shit out of people. I'm just saying stand up for what you believe in. Like just talking on that. You know what? I'm gonna tweet something. Bitch, go on the streets. Like how they do around the world. Like when Egypt and all these places, when they protest, bro, there was millions of people in the streets. In Brazil, millions of people.
They don't work.
Huh?
They don't work.
They'll be unemployed.
Yeah, that's the problem. The left doesn't work.
Yeah,
They don't have any jobs.
we have jobs.
And I know we have to go to the next story, but I would say like one more thing is, and it's not what people want to do, is like then we actually have to run for office and do things. Like
I know,
there are
I agree.
actually people that are building things, the entrepreneurs that are doing things that don't want to be in office. That's kind of what you got to do, because these people are willing to go into office. They want the power and they want to take action, and so we have to do that because ultimately it's a battle for the mind.
Yeah.
Think about
I agree.
There's
that's
only
where we're at.
it's only 500 spots. We just need 500 solid people to step
We
up.
need you as president.
Oh yeah, I know. 10 years, 10 years.
I'm waiting.
I know. Speed of time. Good shit.
Okay. All right, guys. I think we solved
That
another world
problem.
problem just like that in 5 minutes.
Jon Stewart, come to Valley.
Next story, Brady. Brady, I just love because when we're prepping for shows and stuff, and everybody's like giving ideas, and I just look and I'm just like, wow, Brady he finds these crazy stories from Brady. No, but I love it because it's not boring.
Listen, I try not to, listen, I get it, but I just find it in...
Time out, Brady. I love it because I told you I get excited for stuff like this because I want to know. You found the connection between Disney and Nazis.
I blame this on my daughter, and I know that's bad because I was looking up Disney stuff for her the other day, like just because she's coming in Sunday, and I got all excited with like the Disney
Good for you.
stuff. Of course, my brain goes like this. What about Disney? Right? And I did. I started researching about Disney, and I started looking. I'm like, where's Disney from? Like, or how did it start? Stuff like that, right?
Yeah, you want the origins and everything.
So I went down the worst rabbit hole ever, and now I hate Disney. I'm sorry. And I don't mean to ruin this for anyone.
Wait, Mickey? You don't like Mickey or Walt?
We'll get there, dude.
Okay.
We'll get there. So I was looking up Walt Disney, and I was looking up his bio and his history and stuff like that. And did you know in the 40s that Walt Disney was very, very good friends? Very good friends. You probably know all this.
Yeah.
Don't say anything. But he was very good friends in the 40s with a party, a very popular political party named the Nazis, a.k.a.
The Nazis.
Okay, I can say it.
You can say
All right,
Nazis,
no.
bro.
All right.
Hold on, what are you scared? You can say Nazis. They're out
Also,
there.
it kind of sounded funny because Vinny and I always go, Nazi.
Nazis.
Kelly, can you pull up the picture of who Walt hangs out with? So I don't know if you know who that is. That's
Walt's on the left.
Walt's on the left, and Werner von Braun is on the right.
Who's that?
And you're like, who's that?
Father from that.
Well, he was the lead scientist for the SS party.
What?
For the Nazis, right? So yeah, he was for the Nazis.
Like back then?
Back then. So Walt.
Jesus.
So listen, NASA was just sort of like a space agency, everything. But these guys were like, how can we turn it up a notch, right? How can we turn it up a notch? So Walt and Werner von Braun and
Well, let's just call him Vern.
whatever.
You don't have to say the whole name. Vern.
Whatever. All right, it's my segment. Thanks. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. So Walt and Werner von Braun they did a movie, right? They wanted to make this movie to show people about space and stuff like that. And then in 1955, with another guy named Heinz Harber, sounds like a real good guy, right? And then Willie Ley, he's a science fiction writer. Can you go to the YouTube clip, Man in Space at 12:03? Okay, and be prepared to be super bored. I'm just giving the lay of the land of who these guys are.
And by the way, I love it all.
And look at
ABC, baby.
What year did they acquire?
Oh,
1955.
That's old, dude.
1955.
What's up, Brandon?
So look at this guy. So this is
Who's this?
This is not Heinz Haber. Who is it? This is Willie Ley. So he was a science fiction writer, right? He was a science fiction writer. Look how boring this is. All right, so that's Willie Ley. So we can skip to him.
We carry a tank of liquid
Listen to that.
oxygen.
What are they talking about?
Vinny, this is the stuff you and I watched in high school. All right, no, I'm joking. This is a sex ed program.
That's wait. So what?
This is
That's sperm going
Let's
to
turn
the
into
end.
something else. Hold on, no. All right, so let's go to the next
However,
video. Same video. Well, let's go to 1938. So you get the lay of the land of who that guy is. That's Willie Ley.
And why do we see that? What is he doing?
He's corrupt as hell. So they're showing you about oxygen, fuel to the rocket, and all this
Gotcha.
stuff.
Okay, got you.
These guys are all Nazis.
When man
Okay.
steps into his rocket
This
ship
is Heinz
and
Haber,
leaves the Earth behind,
right?
he must be well equipped to survive
Well
the hostile realm
He's
of
talking
outer
about
space.
when you get out of the rocket, if you
To
go.
portray the complex problems of space medicine,
Look how creepy he is.
we have
Look how creepy he
designed
is.
a sort of common man.
What is that?
Man just like you and me.
Right.
We will
okay.
find
so
out
let's
what
go to
happened
the last
him
one. So
on the
that's
trip into
Heinz
space.
Haber, right? So these guys are all working together. We got
Way,
Heinz,
going
we
to
got
be our
Walt,
space
and we
guinea pig.
got Willie Ley, right?
That makes
the
him a
last
brand
one,
new biological species.
Kelly, let's go same video.
I think we
let's
should
go
call
to
him
3155,
Homo sapiens
please.
extraterrestrial.
I have no idea what the hell we're watching right now.
I'm showing you. I'm showing you.
Original V2
I'm going to get to it.
Okay.
The training
So it's called Man in
methods
Space.
for
This
future
is Werner von
speed
Braun.
flight.
So he's showing you about rocket propulsion, or what is it? Rocket propulsion, right? Okay, you couldn't say anything at the beginning. Propulsion. He's talking about basically just how space and everything evolves, what they're going to do with the space program that we weren't doing at all. So all these graphics and everything are by Walt Disney. Walt is the one that made all these graphics, all the cartoons, stuff like that. Okay, so fine. Ditch the video. Okay, we're done with the video. So you're asking, so you're maybe asking, okay, yeah, here we go. So you may be asking, why did Walt Disney come work with the Nazis? Nazis, yes, right.
Just say Nazis.
All right, fine. Well, so there's a thing called Operation Paperclip. Have you guys ever heard of Operation Paperclip?
You know Brandon's
Right,
done.
Operation Paperclip. So the secret intelligence program brought the Nazi scientists to America, and I found that on CIA.gov. And there's a picture of Werner von Braun hanging out with Heinrich Himmler. Ever heard of him? He was Hitler's right-hand man who killed a ton of Jews.
Great.
Ton. These guys are all boys. They're all boys.
Of course, they're all in cahoots.
Right. So, so you see, the U.S. intelligence agency didn't want the Soviets to get a hold of all these guys, so we brought them over to work at our American agencies and all our American companies. Every American company you can think of, Coca-Cola, you can think of Kraft, you can think of Ford, you can think of anything that we had all Nazis in our system in the 50s and now.
CIA.
Right, CIA. So
what
listen,
the hell?
so we brought them over here, right? So I looked up the biography of Heinz Haber, right? And its connection to war crimes, okay? These guys are all bad dudes. And there's testimonies portraying Haber was an avid supporter of Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich, okay?
Oh my God.
What's even crazier, and this is where it all ties in, because you're like, what am I watching? What am I doing? Even crazier, the science fiction writer, Mr. Willie May, that you saw in the second video that you passed out on, he was German, of course. Vernon and Ley wrote a book called Project Mars in 1948, where the main character of the book's name was Elon.
What?
Yes, and I have the picture. Can you pull it up? Yeah.
Wait.
There it is, Project Mars. Elon. These guys wrote it. These are the guys that wrote it. So what I'm getting to is, so I looked on Wikipedia that references the Elon and said that indeed it was true. So I was just like, let's get a second reference. So I asked ChatGPT and said, nope, it's not true. Who's connected to ChatGPT? The left, the hardcore left, that are Nazis. Right? So that's true. It's fine. Listen, I'm comedy relief. I don't give a shit. So we have the gravestone of Werner von Braun, which I wish I had a picture of it and I didn't. I'm sorry, but it says Psalms 19:1. Shut up. So in a good way. It says Psalms 19:1, and on Werner von Braun's grave it says Psalms 19:1. You're like, what does that mean? It says, the heavens declare the glory of God. It's the firmament sheweth his handiwork. You know what firmament is?
Firmament, it's like we're living in a dome.
So when you see Disney and that star goes over the dome,
Oh, shit.
and then you see those stars fall, those are fallen angels. falling on the dome. Firmament.
What time were you looking this up in your day?
Pretty late.
Where is this somewhere?
No, I love it.
It's brilliant.
No, it's crazy.
you think
Great.
about
Because
it?
the moment that you went, because we all know that the left is, I was going to be like, the mean, you're like, they're Nazis. You guys all know that shit.
Listen.
Tell us how you really feel.
All right,
that's
so hold on. We're not done yet, 'cause you
It's
guys-
crazy, though.
I know
No,
you-
but the firmament, dude, by the way, they make it look like it's a nice little rainbow.
But did you ever notice that? Because when you watch the Disney and you have the cute music and it goes over, and then you see those those stars, it's fallen angels. All right.
And where'd you get that from? Is that's
I got that on CIA.gov. Just joking, I didn't. I made that up. I didn't get it anywhere, but that's what I came up with. That's the whole of the show.
Honestly,
That's the whole thing of the show.
that's great.
Thank you very much. So let me ask you a question.
Go.
Let me ask you a question. Last question. Elon's obsession with rockets to space after we just saw from Project Mars,
Right.
that was literally written by Nazis. Are you suspect of who's really running our space programs today? And is it our goal to go to Mars, or is our goal, what's the goal? What do you guys think is, do you trust NASA?
No, NASA's like a money laundering machine, and it has been for like a long time now. I mean,
unpack it. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, so there's a lot of evidence to show that we didn't get to go to the moon in the first place,
Right.
and that we do a lot of wasteful spending, to say the least. You know, we spend billions of dollars on space exploration and building these rockets, a lot of them that blow up or don't even do anything. I mean, yeah, we should explore space and try to expand and colonize and like the solar systems and stuff, but the way they spend money on NASA, super inefficient. You know, Elon Musk has proven that you could launch rockets in space and have them come and land. Look at what NASA does. They shoot them up and then just blows up into space.
Yeah.
Three
Also
times.
that rocket
They
with-
hate him.
Did
They
you-
hate him.
Yeah.
Brandon, 'cause he-
Did you see it? Did you see it? They had the Tesla when they did the thing and they shot it to
The flying car?
Did you see? There's a rat on the back of the rocket walking around. I should have pulled up the video. Yeah.
Wait, what
Swear to God, there's a little rat that's on the back of it.
And you know what that rat was?
Swear to God.
Nazi. I'm telling you right now. That rat was, is that real?
That's
I'm
very
gonna look it
real.
up later.
Look it up. That's true.
But
Look it
Brandon,
up.
so I mean, this guy is just a thorn in the elites. I mean, he's an elite technically by himself, but
It's awesome.
to basically recycle stuff like that,
They hate
That's
that.
to buy Twitter and give us our free speech technically back and give us a platform, they must hate this guy, dude. I'm reading it. I'm listening to his book right now, and it's the early life and his childhood, and it's pretty. His father was a maniac.
Really?
His dad was
Growing
crazy.
up in South Africa was intense.
War and shooting
They were
guns.
like, yeah, you guys would go to the playground, we would beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, that's all we did.
That's what they would do.
Yeah.
And they'd
It's
have
called
to
kids
learn
being
to fight.
kids back in the day. Yeah.
And on this, I would say, I want to see Simpsons probably have an episode.
Yeah,
with Elon, and they
somewhere.
probably predicted this before. And when it comes to this being tied to Nazis, I've gone through a few rabbit holes. And I know previously we were talking about COVID on a previous episode about Klaus Schwab. I went through a rabbit hole with him and his father being connected to the Nazi party as well. And you think of how much influence and how much power he has in every area of the world, not just into wherever he's from in Switzerland, I believe. That he's at.
Wherever he's
and so
from.
when you think of all these large organizations, like how tactical it was for them to plant themselves in every government, every area of life, even Disney. When it comes to who had the most consumption of the kids' minds. I mean, who had?
It's Disney. What do you mean? And that all the subliminal stuff that they put in there when people
Pinocchio.
Oh, what's wrong with Pinocchio?
When they got the Pinocchio, when they take the kids, all the boys to the special land and all that crazy shit.
I did see one. I just saw one recently with who was it? Jim Brewer.
Pinocchio, right?
It was Jim Brewer did something about a was it Pinocchio?
Yes, with Pinocchio, where they round up all the kids at the end.
And the guy said, "We're gonna take him to some island, like Epstein
and it's
Island."
the wolf, and he's like, "We don't have to do anything. We're just gonna bring
God.
him to the special island."
And it's cool and cute because it's a cartoon, but it's like, yo, dude,
creepy.
What
Suggestive.
are you guys
100%.
really trying to say? But yeah, Brett, the whole space, like I don't believe, like, because we were in a Cold War, we were in a space race with Russia at the time. It really looks like now, if you look at it, it looks like it was in the studio. And mind you,
100%.
they're really good at faking stuff like that. Do you think we've been there since, Brandon?
The moon?
To the moon?
No, I don't think we've ever been to the moon.
I was like, you think we've been here?
At least it was the U.S. that faked it, and like we got it that we were
Yeah.
whether it's real or not.
I agree. That would have been funny if Trump was an astronaut. He's like, one little step for man, but I'm here, bitches. That's my flag. It's a beautiful flag. Yeah, because by the way, and it's crazy. I don't think. Do you guys see these videos where I forgot? Was it? I don't think it was Alex. It was somebody was running up to the astronauts, Buzz Aldrin, everybody that
Yeah.
went to the moon,
Yep.
and he's like, have you seen this? He goes,
Punched
here's the
him.
Bible, put your hand on the Bible and
Yeah.
say that you went. And he punches him in the
Punched him.
face.
Yeah.
Like, and that goes to my thing. When you ask these people, like, yo, dude, if you went, what's wrong with, like, anytime there's a question of anything, I'm like, guys, just before you stop the rumors, I'll take a lie detector test. You know how easy you could shut people up? Because lie detector tests, they're not admissible in court, but they are to the American public. If you passed it, I'd be like, hey, guys, leave that person alone. They didn't, like Hillary Clinton. You think Hillary Clinton would ever take a lie detector test about what she's done with all the deaths?
I kind of think she would because she
Yeah, her
doesn't care.
reptilian blood.
Oh my God. No, say again?
With her reptilian blood, her heart rate would
Oh
go up.
my
100%,
God. She
yeah.
probably eats everybody.
Just cools it out.
Yeah, I don't think there's any amount of money that you could give that little demon where she'd go, I'd take a lie detector test. Could you just ask her one question? Have you ever had anybody killed? And then just say this. You know what that needle would do? That needle would slap you. That'd be hilarious. So yeah, Brady, is there any? Cause
That's it.
That was crazy.
By the way, Brady, if you don't think when we're done, I'm gonna go
We're gonna
home and go on
unpack
YouTube
that.
and be like,
No, I'm not kidding you. Look up Tesla's rocket. There is a little rat in the back that's crawling around. I'm not making
While
it
it's-
up.
while it's-
going up in
makes
space.
no sense.
Are you
Look
sure?
at it.
Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna
not
look-
making it up. Look it up.
I'm gonna look at it. Okay, Kelly, we're gonna move on. Yes. I love you. All right, Brandon.
They got to smack
That was a
so
good
hard.
slapperoo.
I like it.
Brandon's gonna explain to us why we should cancel interest payments on student debt. What is it gonna do? Because Brandon, when I go this, I have no idea what the hell you're talking
Gotcha.
about. But I want to know. School
Yeah,
us.
so student debt repayments resume this month. I know everybody's had like 2 years off it, and you were let down by Biden promising you that he was going to cancel student debt. I mean, that's some unrealistic socialist crap. So if you fell for it, shame on you. But something that is realistic that I think should happen, that's not some socialist crap, is to cancel interest payments on student debt. Because here's a good example of how this works. So say you take out a $100,000 student loan. In reality, it's going to take you $300,000 to pay that off because...
Wait, what? 300,000?
You have to make $300,000 to pay off $100,000 in student debt.
Right now?
No,
At any time?
because of the structure of it. So
Jesus.
the average student loan is a 5% interest rate, right, over a 20-year payment. So that makes it about $180,000 to $200,000.
Jeez.
So, and when you work, you get taxed 30%. So, you have to make.
Oh my
you
God.
owe $200,000, and then when you make $300,000, it goes down to $200,000 because of the 30%. So you have to make $300,000 to pay off $100,000 in student loans.
I'm
But they
so
don't
happy I didn't go to college.
Yeah, they don't teach that shit in school though.
No, the hell they did not.
No.
That's a little
Probably on
secret.
purpose.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. That's a secret that they keep from your ass. So
Yeah.
yeah, keep going. My bad.
No, you're good. But yeah, and I especially think that these should be canceled because millennials have been especially shafted in the grand scheme of things because people in the 50s and 60s had super easy mode in America. They had a ton of buying power. Only one person had to work. But then you get to the 70s, they take us off the gold standard. Inflation goes crazy. I have a ton of charts I could show you sometime. But basically, at that time, if you owned a house, if you owned stocks, look at the increase. So it's like 5,000% real estate and stocks increased since 1971 till now. So that's why your grandparents and all that, they have like a lot of buying power or like their net worth is high because if you at least owned a house since the 1970s or owned stocks since the 1970s, you preserved your purchasing power. So it's not that you gained a lot of money, it's that you preserved your purchasing power, which is how much purchasing power the dollar's lost since 1970. So and that's why it took an average of 2 years of an average salary to buy a house in 1970, but today it takes 8 years of an average salary to buy a house.
That's awful.
And people moved out of their house with their parents at an average age of 22 in that year, and now it's like 32.
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth it? So is school even like? Is going to college even worth it? Like these days?
I mean,
like,
if you're strategic about it and like intentional about going to like something that's like STEM related or like a doctor, lawyer,
But I mean, but not if you don't have a scholarship and you're just going like that's to pay that's insane.
No,
Dude.
I mean, I think you're better off doing like door-to-door sales like when you're 18 years old.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could
Do solar.
Shout out to
No,
sales.
I'm slinging solar for a little bit. Yeah.
Slinging the sun rays.
My buddy makes amazing money in Arizona doing solar.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
I would even say,
rush.
I know this is on the interest payments, I would just say get rid of student loans. I was looking and researching this because when it comes to, of course, we're like, no, the government has to pay for all of college. Why do you think college tuition has has gone up exponentially. Because when you think about it, when you open up where anyone can go to school, why? Because the government's now funding it through student loans. The supply and demand. At one point in time, not everyone could go to school because they couldn't afford it or whatever it may be. Well, when you give anyone a loan, which is interesting because usually when you get loans, they're tied to an asset. Well, it's not really an asset when it's a diploma. You don't know if that person's going to make money or not. So the loan, the way it's structured doesn't make sense because it's not tied to an asset knowing they're going to get a return on the loan that they have. And also it makes college more expensive because now the demand for college and the pool of people that are going to college has grown exponentially. So what does that do to the cost of college? It goes up exponentially. So the same answer they're looking for, the government to pay for all of our schooling, is exactly why tuition has gone up exponentially. So moral of my story, the government is not the answer. It is the problem.
Yeah.
I have a question. Do you think if universities, do you think they would lower their costs if like a substantial amount of students refuse to pay that much and don't go to the university? Do you think that they would drop prices? Do you think that it would obviously harm them enough to make a difference?
They would have to. Like, if you couldn't get everyone that's like they all have these loans that are backed by the government into colleges, it makes sense. That's like not as risky because the government's going to pay for it. They're going to have their negotiations on that end.
Right.
If you had to, okay, we're only going to give you we're going to give you your tuition based off your degree. You're going to be a doctor, knowing that maybe their upside is they're going to pay it back. Just like when you go get a house, they're going to look at your debt to income. They're going to look at all of that. They're going to look at the asset itself. It should be the same way for college tuition, and not everyone should go to college, and nor should everyone get college tuition from the government. And I'm someone who did take out student loans, had to pay them back myself. So I'm not for paying them back for other people.
Right.
But if not everyone could go to school, they'd have to reduce the cost because not everyone's going. The demand of people is less. Supply, demand, economics, it's weird. It's a thing.
Yeah, and just think about this. The fact that a bank won't give you a student loan, that says it all right there. If they know that they assess whether or not it's a good return on investment. So if you can't get a bank loan for a student loan, then it's not a good situation. So also, yes, 100%. Like the colleges can make the price whatever they want because they know the government can pay whatever it is. And student, like when you're 18, you're not really processing like how bad of a deal that is to take out $50,000 a year for college because you're like, oh, like I could like make $100,000 a year and like pay it off in 2 years. Like, nope.
And and to go to that too, like how unfair almost is it that you allow 18-year-olds to sign their life away for loans that they have no idea what they're doing. They don't know about the interest rates. They don't know what they're gonna have to pay back. Then they start realizing they're like, I'm gonna pay this shit back forever. Like, when am I ever gonna pay it back? And it goes to, why are we giving 18-year-olds the ability to take out hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt?
Because we made it in society where it's high school, college, it's the process that they want you to do.
And what are those people now doing? Now they're like, the government should pay for everything. They almost essentially paid for their votes and paid for their thought process to look to the government to solve the problem that the government gave them by signing their life away to the debt that they now owe the government.
I think when you're done with high school, very good point. Marry me. Let's have kids and not send them to college. I think and again everybody, we talk about the problem. What? Well, I'm so mad at this. She made fun of my. You remember when Brady showed when they showed that little skinny guy butt naked on the cartoon? She goes, you guys in here. She goes,
said it was like Vinny.
Dang.
Now this is our first fight.
You took that to heart.
I am.
You had me forgotten.
By the way, it's not good for you right now. But like Christie, and I thought about it with all the schools and loans and money. And where's the money going from? I think they should give an option to where when you're done with high school, okay, if you do 2 years in the United States military, they'll pay for your school. Like,
that'd be cool.
Boom. Wouldn't that be? I'm just trying to throw out different options. Where like what? If you serve your country, because mind you, if you think about it, Christie, and this is a fact, we have bombs that are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars that we make. We don't use them. They just sit there.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm not talking about just chump change, a couple million. I'm talking about hundreds of millions, if not billions. Yes, we need stockpile for shit to go down. But it's like, I think if you serve 2 years, I mean, where? In Israel, you have to serve. Is it 2 or 4?
I think it's 2.
Is it true? Does Canada even have what is Canada? Canada? Do they do
We're always
anything?
like Canada.
Canada. I don't want to get. Maybe the next episode, I have a whole beef with Canada. Canada's just
Wait
lucky
until
that
David's here.
Canada's so lucky that they're bordering
They're China
us.
2.0 right now.
No, they're
China
they don't.
2.0.
What are they doing up there?
They're just hanging out with a bunch of moose, drinking Labatt.
I asked somebody today, I'm like, what are you guys doing up there? They're just like, we're just here, eh? Like, anyway. But I think, wouldn't that be a good idea? You serve your country, they let you go to the military.
Yeah.
I mean, the military, and then you get some free school, no loan, no nothing.
So in the military, you don't get any free.
No, you
GI Bill, right?
You get the GI Bill, and while you're in, you could take classes. Like, I got my associates because I just took the test, didn't study, took the test, and
Oh,
you
you're that
passed.
guy, huh? You're that guy?
Very smart. Yeah.
And even with that, I mean, even with corporations, why don't you have it where there's more apprentice programs? Hey, you can start off as maybe a front desk or more administrative role, and if you earn your right within a year, 2 years, you have the opportunity where the corporation will then maybe send you to college to advance into it. Something along those lines where it takes the pressure off 18-year-olds that have no financial literacy, as well as the government, because it is conducive to why the price has gone up, where it would incentivize businesses to invest in their people.
Yeah. I think it depends on what you're trying to study. I think you can be successful with an education or without one. It just depends on what you want to go into. I know friends of mine that I was a Broadway performer and I was doing the same exact thing. My degree is not in that, and people were like $70,000, $80,000 in debt for a musical theater degree.
Jeez.
And I'm just like, wow.
Can you imagine being in that much debt, Christie, for like gender studies?
No, but musical theater?
Yeah.
Like, so I looked at them and I was like, because you can do that. Like you don't need the degree for it. I was living proof of that. It's just a matter of like, what do you want to invest in? Like if you're trying to be a doctor, if you're trying to like be a scientist, engineer, of course you need the education. But there's ways of succeeding outside of it as an entrepreneur as well. There's many entrepreneurs
100%.
that we know that are successful without the education or the debt. Like it just depends on what it is that you want to do.
And I'm not,
And most people don't know what they want to do.
Yeah. And they
just
pressure you so
they
that
take
you
out
can
a loan.
do it on one degree and then you're not sure, so you change degrees. You know how many students have changed degrees, gone back to school, got another loan?
Yeah.
It happens over and over.
And by the way, I'm not gonna lie. Like since this, like I know I mentioned it once. You were just talking right now, and towards the end I zoned out because I'm still mad about her talking about it. I'm still
mad at her. I got it. I get it.
No, it was a skinny, bony guy from behind.
With the girls today.
I'm so
First
no, I love it. No problem. All right, guys, I'm gonna get this last story.
Bloodbath.
This isn't even a story. I just gotta say this just real quick off the bat. Joe Biden, a man of many faces, literally. There's been a lot of rumors circulating that like there's either doubles or he's wearing masks. I know we've talked about it. We've talked about it.
You've talked to everyone.
I talked to everybody about it. I've been obsessed with it. And I think, again, this is my opinion. I believe that there's two Bidens. Maybe the original one's dead.
More.
I don't know. Maybe more. It reminds me of the movie Dave, if you guys seen it. This actor, the real president has like an aneurysm. He's having sex with a girl. So they find a lookalike. That's him. And it's insane. And he tries to change the government. No, it's that's hilarious.
That's funny.
So there's so think about it. There's the lost Biden that needs help getting off stage. Think about this. Then there's the angry one that goes, name me one. He's gone. And then there's the blank stare one that's out of breath that goes like this when he was in Vietnam. He goes, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
There's that guy. So I have some photos. We're gonna do this shotgun, fast style. And photos and videos. I want to show them. Taylor, you're in the doghouse still. I want your guys' opinions. Kelly's gonna show. Let's show the first video. This is of Biden in 1986. I know it's older, but look at his face, look at his structure, look at his hair, and then we're gonna move on. Go ahead, Kel.
It is the best $3 billion investment we make.
Yeah,
if we look at the Middle East,
earlobe.
I think it's about time
his hair's parted.
we stop those of us who support, as most of us do, Israel in this body, for apologizing for our support for Israel.
Look.
There's no apology to be made.
All right, Kelly, that's good, my love. Okay, guys,
It is the best
look at his head,
$3
his
billion
earlobes. By the way, earlobes don't change throughout the years. You know that, right? You don't have them attached.
Surgery.
Unless you have surgery, yeah. And now, I'm going to have her play the second video. It's Joe Biden. This is him side by side, 3 days apart from each other. Okay, one is from 60 Minutes on October 15th, and the other one is CBS 3 days later when he's on Air Force One. Guys, look at these two faces and tell me they're not different. Kelly, go ahead. Dude, nobody's saying that. Look, guys,
he looks like a white hoochie
Hold on,
man,
hold
dude.
on. He has testicles. Look at his chin. How do you grow It looks like a Chihuahua's testicle sack. Bro, that's not the same guy. Look at him.
Wait, this is 3 days apart.
That's 3 days apart. How does that happen?
The nose is different.
His nose, his hair, look at his ears. Dude, that's not the same guy.
Whoa.
I don't give a damn.
I didn't know this was 3 days apart.
3 days apart. Okay, Kelly, you ready for this?
Yeah, they don't
Kelly's
even
my.
see
Kelly, I freaking love Kelly.
Look
She's
at
on
that.
it. All right, and then Kelly, this one is see the speed when he's on the right with his he's a Balchinian on the right. This is him on Air Force One. Look at how worried Karine Jean-Pierre, John Kirby, and Anthony Blinken. They look like little demons because they have the look of, oh my God, he's gonna say something wrong, or oh my God, the mask or something is coming off his face. Kelly, please show their concerned look. Look at her. Look.
Oh,
look,
you can't see her.
She's like, look. She's like, oh my God, look. And then look at John Kirby. Look at him. And then look at this guy, demon. Look at the demon in the back.
Whoa.
Look at the demon in the back. Bro, look. They're concerned. Look at this face. Look at the face.
Going right to hell.
Look at the face of, oh my God, his mask is coming off, dude.
Look, he sees his ball chin.
Oh, he sees the Balchinian. Look at it. Look. They're so scared.
Wow, she's sweating.
She's like, you guys have to leave. We have to leave. Like, no.
Sylvia Jean-Pierre.
Oh my God, dude. How crazy is that?
Whoa.
Is that crazy?
Yeah.
They're worried.
Well,
All right,
no, but-
Kelly, you can stop that one, my love. And then,
Not shocked.
guys, they're all, because Christie, they're scared. He's gonna, because this one isn't the trained one. This isn't the one that goes, name me one. Just old and angry, senile idiot.
You
Okay.
brought the wrong one.
Yeah, you got the wrong, imagine that. Guys, the wrong Biden.
This one's not charged.
Yeah, we wanted the debate Biden, not sleeping. I'm gonna go to bed Biden.
Yeah.
All right, then Kelly, this is one where it's post January 6th, and he's talking about the insurrection and Prokop. Pay attention, listen to look at his face, listen to his voice, and he doesn't blink. Kelly, show him, listen to his voice, guys.
Whoa.
Listen. Shh. Can you get the volume on it?
You can't be pro-insurrection.
Go back, Kelly, please go back. Please show this. From the beginning, listen to it.
You can't
Listen,
be
look at his-
pro-insurrection and pro-cop. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-democracy. You can't be pro-insurrection and pro-American. Donald Trump lacked the courage to act.
That's not him!
Brave women and men in blue all across this nation.
He hasn't blinked.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not one blink.
That's
By the way,
insane.
that is like, okay, I'm not being that guy. It's just so weird. And then, this is just a couple days ago, Donald Trump mentioned something about his face, and he goes, I would punch him in the nose. And he goes, that plastic fake nose of his. Kelly, please show that one.
When Biden, I'd like to take him to the back of the barn. I dream of that. You know what I do with him?
It was a while ago. Listen.
I'd hit him right in that fake nose.
Listen.
That fake nose. They'd have plastic lying all over the floor.
Oh,
I don't want to say that.
Kelly,
So when he says it, they say, oh.
so yeah, you can stop it. This is
Remember when he was
a couple
doing
days ago.
that?
This is a while ago when he was like, I take him into the barn. What is he talking about? His plastic
That's
fake nose all over the place.
Yeah, why would he say that?
And he's got a mean
and then
swing.
Kelly, you have these photos, guys, and just and I want you guys to look. Can you guys please do me a favor? Look at these photos. That to me is not the same guy.
I think the bottom left, if it was going to be any of them, I
If
would
it
go
was
bottom
gonna, okay,
left.
so ready for this? Bottom left
I would
is
go
real
left.
Joe Biden.
Yes.
Bottom right, Balchinian is the worst actor. That's like they got
It's
like,
Sleepy Joe.
Yeah, why would they get him though? The bottom right? Did they not have were they all out of town?
Maybe,
That's what I'm saying.
maybe one of them is on vacation.
Are you sure that's the only guy we can get?
Yeah,
There he
Brady,
is.
can you imagine that phone call? No, like
Clone
guys,
four.
listen.
No, Clone
you call
four?
the agency, like, yeah, listen. I wanted the angry Biden, and you sons of bitches, you sent Balchinian?
Yeah.
Like, guys, like, just take a second. That doesn't look like the same guy. I'm sorry.
And none of those look like the last one that you
No, 100%. And then for the
Prokop.
last one, and then when your guys' opinion before we wrap up, Kelly has one more video. I don't know. I'll admit it. I don't know where this is from. I saw it online. It wasn't TikTok. Brady, I apologize because I know that's your
That's my
steal.
jam. That's my
But
jam.
apparently, this is towards the election, pandemic. I think towards the end of it or the first year, people with cameras. Mind you, you're going to see a police escorts running away from him. It's a body double look-alike, and people are like, "Oh, Joe Biden! You're the double of Joe Biden." Watch, Kelly, show it. Look, cop escorts, and now look. Look, it's a body double, and the cops are like, "We're out."
Wow.
Dude, look at that. They couldn't give him a ride.
Where is he? The Santa Monica Pier?
Yeah, yeah, where's the real Joe? Look at him. He don't give a shit, dude. So okay, and let me. So, and Brandon, I want to ask you. I want just really quick.
Yeah.
What are the odds? Because I'm pretty sure, dude, the level of masks that the government. I forgot which CIA lady was it. She went on.
Yeah, she went on Pat's.
She went on Pat's podcast. Kelly, if you can find out the name, she was an ex-CIA.
Talking about Obama.
Disguise expert.
She was a disguise expert about facial. Because think about, Taylor, when you watch a movie like
Mission Impossible,
or even the more high-tech ones where they put real makeup, like I'm talking about Hobbits and all those freaking people, but the level of the advanced technology we have to make people look different, I wouldn't put it past them.
But how are they that bad at it, though? When he's the president and they have the technology at their hands, at their disposal. And they have Balls McGee or whatever.
But maybe it's failing live. Like, oh my God, like
it's melting.
Or maybe they put it together behind closed doors.
Kelly, do you know her name? You know, that's all I talk about, my love.
It's not even that crazy. 'Cause you can go on social media, and I've seen so many makeup artists that use prosthetics and they like cover their face, and they show these really trendy videos of them taking off the makeup. They have peeled.
Yeah.
They have peeled off a completely different face that you're like, they look one way, they take it off, and it's like, whoa, you would have never known. So they're doing that as makeup artists.
I know.
Visual effects artists. I mean, you're gonna think.
And by the way, they don't let nobody really talk to him. He can't answer questions. Yeah. They always hide him. They hit him. They hit him during the election. He was Biden in the basement. And if you think about it, oh, Kelly, is this it? Look at that, guys. Watch this video really fast. Look at this. 5-second mask. Look at that.
What is this? Oh my God.
International Spy Museum. What?
Oh my gosh.
What? Look at, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at that. Looks like me with glasses.
Wow. It's right down the street from the White House.
Looks like me with sunglasses.
Not at all.
Oh my God.
Do they have like a beach version, Biden?
Yeah, he is at the beach. But that's crazy,
So
Cal.
they could either do this or cloning too.
Dude, who knows?
They've cloned since the 90s.
They've been cloning. They clone
animals since the 90s.
Holy shit! This is Biden
Now
number 4.
they come out a little bit more slow.
Yeah, no, but like nothing. I don't put it past any of them with the dude. Just the video of Kirby and Jean-Pierre and them. Did you see the look of concern and fear and like why were you guys so? What are you so scared about? What are you worried that he's gonna say? Or what if, dude? It would be funny if he was just like, because you know he was all slow. What if he just went, "It's me, bitches!" And people were like, "Oh my God!" And it's somebody, and it's Trump, like, "Hey guys, I want to get."
That's for America.
That's the Simpsons. Guys, I technically would. I love Wittig.
You know what's crazy? I literally could see a scenario where like the mask starts slipping off at somebody else, but we all see it, but they just gloss over it because of how crazy things are right now.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't know why they're worried. Like they get away with everything right now.
Nothing. I'm telling you right now, the left can do no wrong. So I want to do. You know, I want to do like one of those, like you know those emergency. Like, what if, God forbid, you got in trouble, you know, Brady, for drunk driving or sexual harassment, whatever, and you're just like, and they're about to arrest you, and you go, wait, and you open up this little thing, and it's a registration. You just register Democrat, and you go, I'm a Democrat now, and they go, oh, okay. He's good.
Perfect.
Just wear a Ukraine pin around and you're good.
Oh, yeah, Ukrainian.
You have a black square. You get a pass.
Yeah, you guys didn't hear what Brady did yesterday? Do you mind if I tell?
Go ahead.
He went to go get a loan, and he went to go get a loan for.
Going back.
He went to go get a loan for a car, and they were like, no. So he left, went to the costume shop, got a Ukrainian Zelensky outfit with he came in and they threw money at him.
No.
Yeah. And he came with the accent. He goes, I want loan. They threw money at him. It was insane.
That's a fact.
All right, but guys, Brady, Christie, Taylor, Brandon, I love you guys. Taylor, you're still in the doghouse.
Wow,
I'm so sorry.
today.
So are we getting married or?
Married for sure enough. That's gonna be the spice. That's gonna be like. So if I do mess up, I'm like, you know why? You made fun of me, the skinny leg guy. I'm working on my legs. But everybody out there, thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode. We will be here next week with some, we're gonna keep getting unusual. Who knows? I might not be. I might be. I might put on a mask and be Biden number 5. I don't know if the money's good. If the money's good,
we all come as a version.
But thank you guys so much. Take care of each other, love each other, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.